What's going on? Welcome back to Real World Tool Reviews. And I've been doing brakes today. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful afternoon here in the state of North Carolina. And the wind's blowing like crazy though. But I've been needing to do the brakes on my truck for a while. I still need new rotors. My truck, the front rotors have the wheel bearing assembly as a part of the rotor because mine's the two-wheel drive F-150. I have not done that yet because I ordered the parts. Parts got here. Parts were damaged. I have to get new parts to do that. So I just did the rear brake pads today. And, you know, brake pads are real easy, so that's all I did. But I figured it'd be a good opportunity to show all the tools you need for a regular dude to do brake pads. If you're just doing pads, pretty simple. This is all I used. So it also is a good opportunity just to show some great tools. So you can see there wasn't a whole lot left. There was a little bit, you know, but there wasn't a whole lot left on that pad. So the rear ones definitely needed to be done, you know. Rear brakes are doing about 20% of the work or something, but still needed to be done. I didn't want to let it get all the way and then ruin my rotors. So what's really important when you're doing brake pads to me is something to compress the piston once you get the brake pads out, and a good pry bar, good pry tools. So in the past I've used C clamps, and I actually bought this one. Get it off my clamp wall. I bought this one. I'm going to do a Harbor Freight tool haul video here in just a minute after I get done with this video. I bought this one today, and I was using it. I used it for the first one, and it works great. You just use a C-clamp to, you know, leave one brake pad in, leave this brake pad in. Actually, this is the one, and then you compress the piston in with this. You know, if you've ever done it, you know how that works. So you use a C-clamp, it works fine. But what actually worked even better than that for me was this guy right here. And that is the 16-inch channel locks. Now, if you have a bigger truck than mine, you might need the 20-inch or something to use these for brake caliper pistons. But this got there and squeezed them together, and it was actually easier than fumbling around with that C-clamp. I just love having a pair of channel lock 460s. Everybody in the trades, whether you're a mechanic or a plumber or just a homeowner, anybody who has a set of tools needs a pair of channel lock 460s. And I might get the 20. They make a 20-inch. They call it like the big ass pair or something. They spell it with a Z, like big ass pair. So I'm thinking about getting those just to have them, because when you need a big ass pair of pliers, you really need them, and they come in handy just randomly all the time for me. And this worked great for the caliper pistons, so that was awesome. And the pry tools are the other big thing, getting brake pads out. You know, especially these ones on the rear brakes. You know, you got these clips that hold them on, and these pegs that go in the holes on that one side. It slides on, and these things go in the holes on the caliper. So what helps is you need a good pry bar, like good size one like this, and you've got to, you know, first off, kind of when you're first trying to take the caliper off, you got to kind of reach in there and push it spread them apart so that the caliper comes off easy. So a regular old pry bar is great for that. But then getting parts out of there, like especially this one, it's great to have these right here. And these are just Pittsburg. I'd love to have some Snap-on ones. Someday, maybe I'll get the Snap-on hard handle ones. But, you know, you can get in and kind of pull this out and pry this up at the same time. Or you can get in here and just pry this clip back a little bit more easily. So this is a very handy little pry bar. It's made for trim. I actually just bought a whole set of these Pittsburg ones. I was going to buy a more expensive set, and I decided not to. But you can see this is the first time I've ever used them, and obviously it's just, you know, it's Harbor Freight. It is what it is. But and then a littler pry bar is nice too, just to have. And these pry bars were made by Wild Tool. These Lang ones were made by this company, Wild. A lot of companies, including Craftsman and many others, have rebranded this same USA-made Wild pry bar. And what's so great about these, I just love them. I love them because they're affordable. Like, I got a whole set of these orange ones. I got a lot of bigger ones. And I think I might have paid $40 or something. And I'd love, again, like with the trim ones, I'd love to have a set of Snap-ons, and someday I will probably buy a set of Snap-on pry bars. But I don't really like the new Snap-on handles. I wish they had the old hard handles still. But what's great, you know, when you're doing stuff like this, it's nice to have non-rubber handles. That's the same reason why I love this SnapOn Ratchet hard handle, because I thought about getting the Comfort Grip, but you know, I've seen a lot of guys Comfort Grip ratchets that are just totally, the Comfort Grip's just totally destroyed. I don't like that rubber, first of all. I don't think it's that comfortable. And second of all, if you're using it, you know, getting oil and brake clean and stuff all over it, then it's hard to keep it from disintegrating and turning gross. But these come clean. I mean, look at that. And all you need is some tub of towels. Same with these pry bars. And I like to keep them clean, you know. I don't like to, I mean, I don't spend a ton of time cleaning my tools, but after I use them, when I got all that brake dust and all that oil and stuff all over them, I'll just clean them off. And look at that, you know, it's great. I'm not a big, like, neat freak when it comes to my tools. In fact, I almost kind of like it when they look like they've been used a little bit. But I don't like to leave gunk all over them, like when I pick them up and get all nasty gunk on my hands. So, you know. But like these Pittsburg handles, these rubber handles, they'll get gross. But yeah, pry tools and something to do the caliper pistons. And obviously, you need a ratchet. And I love this long Snap-on is the shit. I mean, you know, if you can't afford Snap-on, don't buy it, because it's very expensive. But if you can afford Snap-on, it is so worth the money. This ratchet, you know, I got it on special and paid $110 or something for it. They're normally like, for some reason, these hard handles are more expensive, but I just have come to love this thing. It's the 11-inch or something. That little extra long in the 3/8 really is great to have. And I wish that I would have got the flex head, but the next one will be a flex head that I get. So that's really all you need. It's just a couple bolts and the caliper that you have to mess with. And I service the caliper pistons, I mean the caliper slide pins, grease them all up when I do the brake pads. So I got that done, and really those rear brakes makes a big difference when you grease up those pins and everything. So after you've done your brake job, put in your 2 bolts caliper bolts. Replaced your pads with these tools here. The only thing that's left is, and obviously you've already taken the wheels off. So this is my DeWalt Atomic. We talked about this around Christmas time on the Christmas tool haul. And this is the 1/2 inch Atomic. Like, it's a small 1/2 inch, but man, has it got some ugga-duggas in it. It's awesome. It gets the lug nuts off like crazy, you know. It's got full bar still, you know. I took off 12 lug nuts and put on 12 lug nuts, but so you need to. It's nice to have an impact anyway. You don't have to have an impact. You can use a breaker bar and a socket or something, and obviously you need a jack and jack stands. And we're going to talk about that in my next video too. But I did invest in a set of jack stands and a matching orange jack, Daytona jack from Harbor Freight. And I am so freaking happy with that decision. I can't even tell you. So we'll talk about that in a future video, but obviously you need a jack and jack stands. And but I must say that this DeWalt, this thing has done everything I need it to do. Now, it's not as powerful as an air, an air impact, not even close. But for the size, it's like a good everyday impact, you know. I 1/2 inch impacts are what I use the most for an impact, you know. I like to use a little 3/8 one, and even a little 1/4 inch one, but the 1/2 inch is like, if I'm going to use, most of the time I'll pull out my ratchets and I'll do the stuff just because I don't want to over torque something, or I'm more comfortable in smaller fasteners using hand tools. I know a lot of mechanics use their impacts for everything, but I'm not a mechanic, so I like to play it safe with the hand tools for the 1/4 inch and 3/8. Just, you know, that's just how I roll. But the 1/2 inch stuff, if I really need it, this thing does everything I need it to do so far. It's got great LEDs. It's got good settings. So this #1 setting will only let you torque it to 150 foot-pounds, which happens to be my torque specs for my F-150 truck. Now, speaking of torque, here is my 1/2 inch torque wrench. This is an old school Craftsman one, made in USA. And you may remember, if you watch this channel a lot, I got this in a tool haul, and I paid about $8 for it or something, I think. And it only goes up to 140 foot-pounds, but that's the 140 line. But actually, it does go up to 150. And usually what I do is torque it down to where it gets to the end, and then I'll take this impact and just give it a couple ugga-duggas, watch it turn just that little bit, and then I'm good. Maybe that's stupid, I don't know, but that's the way I do it. It works great for me on my truck. And then it's great to have a little light. Now, this is my little SnapOn light. We've talked about it before. It's a good one to stick up in the wheel well or whatever, if you don't have enough light when you're doing that, especially when you're, like, you know, putting the pins in and stuff on the caliper or something like that. I needed a little extra light. And I can say that this is a great light. It's been with me for a couple years now, and it has really done a great job. Helped me all kinds of stuff. It's just great because it's enough light usually, and I can stick it somewhere. It's got a real strong magnet. And it's such a strong magnet, in fact, I may or may not have driven around the block a few times test driving it after I did my brake pads with this still up in the wheel well. I did not remember, and it stuck there good. And my SnapOn guy told me a story about a guy who drove to, like, from here to Alabama and back or something with one of these up under his wheel well. So it's got a good strong magnet on it. But anyway, these are some tools I would recommend. I would highly recommend SnapOn Ratchets if you can afford them. I just would. They're the best. It's the best ratchet I've ever used. You will be happy. You don't Snap-on ratchets and pliers, I think, are worth it. I don't know about everything, but I have experience with Snap-on ratchets and Snap-on pliers, and I love them and think they're worth it for anybody who can afford it. And if you need some pry bars, I would highly suggest finding a rebranded Wild Tools. You can go to Wild Tools website and get their set of these. They sell the full set. You can find the Lang ones. I bought these Lang ones on Amazon a few years ago. Craftsman had them for a while. I don't think they have them anymore, though. I think even Walmart has these under the Hyper Tough name. Find the USA made ones, because I think there's also different Hyper Tough ones that they sell. But find the USA made Hyper Toughs at Walmart, and they are the same pry bars. They're great pry bars for the money. They're just unbeatable. You know, made in the USA, and they're super strong, solid, great ones. So, and then these Pittsburghs, they're okay. I wouldn't really necessarily recommend them, because I've honestly already really messed up, bent these up a little bit, and I didn't even put a lot of pressure on them. And of course, definitely recommend the Channel Lock 460s for brake caliper pistons and many other things where either you need a lot of torque, you need to really crank on something, put these bad boys on there and they will do some serious work. Or more importantly, you will find big fasteners and big things that you need to get a big grip on, and you just need to have a big pair of pliers. I don't know any other way to get those big plastic nuts, or a lot of times they're plastic, sometimes they're metal or something, under a toilet tank. If you have to take a toilet tank off, and that big nut on the bottom of a toilet tank that holds the gasket on or whatever, or that you put the gasket around. If you've worked on toilets a lot, you know what I'm talking about. I don't really know any other way to do it other than use a pair of these. So, and they're also just fun to use. So anyway, that is this right here, and of course a jack and jack stands is all you need to do your own brake pads. And I can't show you my phone because I'm recording with it, but it also might help to have a phone or a computer so that you can look up how to do it on YouTube. And that's really all you need to do. So anyway, these are some tools I would recommend, some tools that I have good experience with, all of these. So anyway, thanks for watching.